Hey guys, this is Forsaken Reality here with the 27th episode of the multiplayer RPG tutorial series. In this episode, we will be continuing with the shield setup. There's a few issues basically we're gonna fix up in this episode. Basically, for example, I pick up a sword, can't pick I pick up the shield, that's the stance, and also there's an issue with it tracing through the sword, and I can also pick up multiple weapons right now. It does stuff like that, so we're going to be fixing all of those weird issues. So without further ado, we'll get into that. First thing we're going to want to do is open up our character blueprint, and we want to go to our input graph, and we're just gonna move this out of the way for now just because we're gonna need to make some more room. Drag all this down. Okay, first thing we're going to do is get our combat component, get our weapon reference. It's solid. So we're going to, so if our weapon is valid, we are going to check if the weapon has the same weapon type. So we're going to create a branch. Points in like that. Get our pickup reference. Item type. And equals. And then we'll get our combat component. Weapon ref. Item details. And we will break this. Get our type. So our pickup reference equals our currently equipped weapons item type, because it'll only run through this if it's already valid, meaning there's a weapon already equipped. Let's over this way a little more. And if there is a weapon equipped, we will do nothing. Just print string just to test it out. Weapon already equipped. And if it's false, before we spawn, we're going to get our combat component. Just gonna drag this down a little more. And we're gonna get our weapon equipped variable. And we're also gonna get our shield equipped. This will determine if our shield and our weapon is equipped. So we'll get and boolean. So now it's checking if the weapon and the shield is equipped. We'll create a branch. So if the weapon type is false, we will continue, meaning we can pick up our weapon. And if it's true here, both hands full, meaning we have a weapon in both hands, or a weapon and a shield in our hand already. We won't do anything else. But if it's false, we'll spawn the weapon. If the weapon reference is not valid, we're going to want to skip the weapon type check. So I'm just gonna create a pin right here. Drag this into that. And bring this down around. There we go. I'll make it a little more neat. There we go. So now it's gonna... it shouldn't actually... I think we actually might want to skip this one too. Let's double click. And we'll just drag that over like that. Because if there's no weapon equipped, then there's no way there can be a weapon and a shield equipped, basically, so we don't need to check that. And then we'll spawn our weapon. Sets the whole reference and sends it to the master held item. And right here, we want to create a branch after the set held item and before the stance set. And we'll get our combat component. Weapon equipped. Checking to see if we have a weapon equipped before we set our stance. If true, we will set our stance to that of the combat component. This is where we're going to start fixing up some of these. I'm going to just right click and find references. There are quite a few. Because we're now using it from our combat component, and it's our weapon reference here specifically. Because our holdable is broken down into weapons and shields at the moment. And we'll comment this. Weapon equipped when we picking up a weapon. Set the stance to the weapon currently held from the DT item list. So I'll get the stance from the item list for the item. Destroy pickup reference to it. So basically once it gets this far, the reference is not, pickup is not needed anymore. We'll just destroy it. Since everything will be fed into here, set up properly. So now, pick up a sword, pick up a shield. Can't actually hit it, but it doesn't set our stance. So the reason that that's happening is because our trace is hitting our equipped weapon. So to fix that, I want to go to our blueprints, items, holdables, BP master holdable, and the holdable mesh. And we're just going to set visibility to ignore, compile and save. And we may have to do that for all of them because it's set for that. So I know that sometimes it can cause some issues. Bringing my stuff to the other screen. And I'm just going to check my sword. And yeah, that's okay. So everything is set to visible and ignore for the holdable. And we shouldn't have a problem doing that now. Now that we have this done, we can put this back up here. And I'm going to quickly comment a few things. Check if the holdable weapon ref is valid. Should only be valid after player has already picked up at least one weapon. So I hope that helps with that, why that's there a little bit. And we're going to comment this. Check it. Pick up item type is the same as current equip item type. Cannot equip 2 swords. It can't at the moment. This is because it's attaching it to the swords are specifically being attached to the weapon sockets. Later on we'll do dual wields. Actually, true will handle dual wields. So basically, if it runs through this and it runs true, that means it's the sockets are the same. And we'll have, if we have a sword, we're gonna want to determine if it's a sword and change the socket from the main socket to the offhand. But we'll do that later on. And check if sword or weapon and shield are both equipped. And that'll be good for now for that. Compile and save. Now, just gonna test out to make sure that everything so far is working. No, it won't let me. Once I pick this up, it doesn't let me do that. So now I'll look into that quick. So I'm pretty sure this issue is basically just boiling down to the holdable reference needs to be removed. So in our character, master character, in our input craft, we're going to want to go to our equip. I'm going to comment this equip, unequip. So we want to get our combat component, weapon reference. Check if that's valid. And then basically, if our weapon is equipped, true, false. We'll play the different animations, so we should. It seems it's still setting the weapon the main weapon reference. So settle. Let's just go through our holdables. We're gonna right click on our holdable reference, find reference. And we're just gonna start replacing these. The weapon reference, so heavy attack. I'm just gonna select 2 of these and Control C. Blade attack. It's not getting the animations from the correct item there. So technically the holdable reference is being set to the shield. You pick this up in this blueprint at least, so we want to delete that, swap it out with the correct one. Melee trace, there's another one. We want to trace from our weapon always. Ignore our weapon. And we're also gonna add a pin. No. Shield. We're gonna get our shield reference. We're also gonna ignore that. And our final one over here. Should get rid of them in here. There's still some other references to it around. We'll definitely need to get rid of. Again, the animation blueprint. There we go. Now it's not referencing the weapon for animations anymore. We will be setting it up so that but when you equipped, you want it to set the animation. So let's do another reference. We enter here. So we want to open up our animation blueprint. And right here, when we equip a weapon, we're checking the holdable reference, which after I picked up the shield, it was set to the shield, which has no animations. So you want to delete this holdable reference, get the combat component, and get item or get holdable weapon reference. And there we go. It's gonna clean this up slightly. Boom, boom. It's already getting it from the combat component there. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be correct now. Now we should probably be able to properly able to run through and set the stance even with the shield equipped. There we go. Okay. One more little bug that I just found. In our input graph, we want to go up to our pickup, and right before it checks the weapon equipped, if there's not a weapon equipped, so the weapon would be on our back, for example, we go to pick up a shield, it won't destroy the shield, it'll just keep it on the ground. So we want to just plug that in like that. So now we should be able to pick up a shield. Can't pick up any weapon already. Weapon on our back, pick up a shield. Here we go. In the next video, I'll be looking into setting up. We'll be redoing the stances slightly, so there'll be a one-handed melee stance and a shield melee stance, and we'll be determining our animations based on if we have a shield equipped or not. So a sword will be playing through some of these animations that we got from Greystone, I believe, which are animations for when a shield's not equipped. If you found this video helpful and want to see more, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new tutorial videos. Lately I've been doing uploads either mainly every day or at least every second day, depending on my schedule. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, feel free to leave those in the comments section below or join my Discord server using the link in the description. Thank you, and I'll see you all in the next episode.